What's up, everyone? How you guys doing out there? It is 9:30, so you guys are already up on here. Jay got on here. Got JB, Ant, Ironhead. What's up, guys? Let's see. So you guys had enough of all this Senate BS and all these commies? Anyway, we're going to talk about a subject. I actually got a couple questions that came in this week, and some of them were pretty asinine questions. It sucks for sure. Hope you got paid. Checking in. What's up, Last Corm? It's up, Chicago. Get it all set up. You guys are here before I am. See here. All right. Today, this is something that it really got me a little bit irritated. It was club member or gangster. They're one percenters. How do you think one percenter MCs make their money? And a lot of people don't. Well, actually, it's not that they understand. I think that they're being spoon fed by television shows and all this media where they isolated, you know, incidences from around the country, and they try to put it together in one big melting pot. What I have to say is it's not the 70s, it's not the 80s anymore. I notice a lot of the ones that come up with these questions or send them over is, kids, the millennium generations and stuff like that. Some of these type of questions. Again, this ain't 1970s, 19. I had actually one guy say, well, SOA was supposedly based on some stuff that happened with 81. It might be so. It might be the case. But I'm telling you now that it wasn't 2018 it happened. Those things happened in the 70s and 80s, man, when the clubs were just starting to get going, getting into the stuff that they got into. But to say that, one percenters are all gangsters, that's how they make their money, that's total BS. When I was with the Pistons and in the club, I can tell you from experience that we were never allowed to do any bullshit because Rico was just too much of a freaking. Let's see here. Let me tell you, Rico was there in your face. Anytime you were at a party, you had all those freaking alphabet soups out there taking your license plates and shit. And everybody's not stupid, man. Nowadays, the technology is just too much to overcome to do that kind of gangster shit. Now, you want to see gangster shit, you can come down to Chicago, as as everybody's aware, I'm sure you guys watched it on TV, that that's some gangster shit going on in Chicago right now, especially on the west and south sides. Those gangs are up on there. But to say that, you know, even if you're wearing a one percenter patch, that you're some kind of gang and that's how you make your money and all that bullshit, that's total crap. Uh, Personally, a lot of them are, well, the club that I was around, of course, with the Piston and stuff, a lot of the guys were welders, auto mechanics, motorcycle mechanics, tattoo artists. I was tattooing for shit almost years on my own shops and shit like that. So a lot of legitimate stuff. Yeah, there's guys out there, then they do it under the table. At least I know where I was, they did it under the table. Because again, you get your ass a one-way ticket to the streets if you got caught even by the club because I didn't want all the bullshit comes with it. So yeah, it's not just because you're a one percenter don't mean you're a freaking gangster. Yeah, one percenters, they stand up for their shit and they go by, I got one guy who put this question. Let's see here. Let's see. I have no idea how you put this together, and this was talking about this Iron Order shit. Which, by the way, I was contacted by Iron Order, and they told me that, let's see here, he is suspended. The guy that we reported on yesterday. And they said, well, we had no idea that this was going on. And I was like, well, maybe you guys should do a background check or something like that, don't you think? And but yeah, they contacted me yesterday and last night actually and said, yeah, this guy suspended, the one who was what's it called, doing that roof shit where he's taking advantage of everybody. He was suspended from their club, which it goes to show you with another thing. I'd really care if the guy's suspended from the club. That's club business and shit. So why do I care? Yeah, I'll report it out there for you, but you know, as far as me personally, it's like, well, that's your business, man. It's your fuck up, not mine. So, what's up, Mr. Free? Hey, IH, how you doing? Chicago FD, man, Chaser. We are filled in the freaking chat room today. Thanks, guys, for everything. And thanks for all those that donated to Neon yesterday. You know what? That was some heartfelt stuff. The guy's having a lot of trouble, and I really appreciate that. Thanks, Long Rider, man. You're the man here and on what you did for Neon. I really appreciate that, bud. But okay, let's go back to before I get off track here. Like I always do in these live things, watching the chat room and seeing what you guys are up to, what you want to talk about. And I really like these chat rooms, man. I really do. Uh, it gets it gives a lot of material to help make the channel better and to make Insane Throttle better. But let's see here. Not okay. This goes back to that question. The individual's actions are not sanctioned by his club, which I understand. They're not. You know, his actions wasn't sanctioned by the Iron Order. At least that's what they tell me. Uh, but it goes on to say, what the fuck has that got to do with protocol? Now, I was making the argument with protocol yesterday in that video because a lot of people, well, like that one question, club member or gangster, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then you got a lot of guys out there saying, fuck protocol, shit like that. Well, this is exactly the reason why, and I was putting it in comparison why protocol came around was shit like that happening. They made sure, people weren't running around out there trying to screw people out of money or making other clubs look bad. So that's where the comparison came in for that question. Quote, let's go to the next one. If you're willing to judge someone on what's on the outside, you probably have nothing on the inside. No heart, no soul, no brains. The hardcore bikers hated being treated like crap for the way they looked. It's pretty hypocritical to turn around to do the thing you complain about. Practice what you preach. That was actually a comment on the Mixed Clubs video. And I thought it was really interesting, and you know what? It stood out because he is right on that shit. You know, we for so long complain about profiling and the way people look at us and shit like that. That to turn around and try to do it to somebody else, that's the way it. But politics are politics, man. That's the club scene. That's even the biker scene. That's the way it's always gonna be. It's never going to be any different. So you can go out there, try to change things, but in the end, it comes down to it's a street thing, man. It's always been a street. You know and that's why I tell people when they ask me, because I get these questions, I gotta get freaking fuck. See here, 100 yesterday. I got 75 the day before. Questions about joining a motorcycle club. And I know I touch on it a lot, but I also like touching on the other stuff. Like we had the video with Harley Davidson, stuff like that. I like talking about the other shit, but you know, motorcycle clubs is a street thing, man. A lot of people, you know, they run out there, they buy these Harleys, or they'll go out there, buy an Indian or some shit, and the first thing they want to do is wear a patch. That's something I don't understand. If you haven't been around the lifestyle, why would you want to run out there and get involved in something you have no idea you're getting involved with? That's why I always say, hey, riding clubs or A-bait or some shit, you don't have to automatically jump for a patch. Oh, and I'll always push that. Even though, I rode with the club and yeah, I still hang out with some of them. I was just out with them the other day and shit like. But I'm independent, and the reason why I'm independent is because I really can't much take this new way of doing shit the way they're doing out there, man. It's really freaking screwed up the way they do. The volume's too low. Let's see if we to turn that shit up. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Volume is too low. Advanced audio. Tell me if it's going better. How we doing now? We doing better? How we doing? Is that sound better? But anyway, I just turned up the volume, see if it better for you. The volume was. So let's get to another one here. As a lifelong Texas resident and constitutional conservative, I feel compelled to speak up whenever somebody's civil rights are being violated or harassed by an overzealous police department. Last week, I wrote a fairly lengthy letter to the FWPD letting them know I was extremely displeased with their behavior towards the bikers last weekend's events. Now, that one was talking about what the Mongols was going through down in Fort Worth, the Vagos, and you had a lot of people go out there and say, well, if they don't want to get messed with, they shouldn't be wearing a one percenter patch. And that's some ignorant ass shit to say if you really think about it. And I think a lot of you guys hit this guy on the channel when he said that. So basically, because the government deems that one percenters are criminal, means they shouldn't have a right to wear whatever patch they want to wear. So basically, does that apply to Masons and Elks and Mooses? If, because Masons, they got a long history of government messing with them, man. That shit goes back, what, hundreds of years with the government always complaining about their secret society and shit. And some countries even tried to ban the Masons. So is that the kind of shit we're living in the United States now, where just because you're wearing a one percenter patch, everybody's gonna say, "Hey, you know, if you don't want to be messed with by the cops, you shouldn't be wearing it." That kind of goes with the same shit that's been going on with the Supreme Court pick all this week, man. See, I watch a lot of news, and did you guys see the news where they're doing those chants where they're like robotic and shit? You got one guy freaking talking and the rest repeating what he said. That's some scary shit in this freaking country, man. It really is. So, is that the kind of freaking attitude that we're really going towards? Is if you don't want the cops messing with you, you shouldn't be wearing something they deem inappropriate? That's totally freaking bullshit, man. And you're right, Ant. This country was freaking founded by Mason shit. I think the cornerstone of I think it was either the Capitol or the White House. There was something to Masonic related. And if you look at the whole layout of Washington D.C., it's all in geometry forms, and it was really laid out to a specific purpose and shit like that. Yeah, right, Mr. Free. Guilty until proven innocent. That's the way we're living in this country now. And another brother Mason in the chat room. What's up, Jose? So you know what I'm talking about when it comes to you know, the Masons and what they had to face over decades. It's the same thing with one percenters, man. One percenters are great guys. A lot of them, again, are mechanics and shit like that. They work 9 to 5 jobs, or they work, they bust their ass. They're blue collar guys. So to go out there and say, hey, they're all criminals, I think you're a bunch of full of shit. But, that goes into the next one where a guy commented, funny, I thought you support the notion that clubs must clean up their image and change with the times. And I do support that. And I do think clubs should, change with the times, because if they don't evolve, they're going to go away to the dinosaurs, because look at what you got already. you got this younger generation out there supporting the notion that if you wear a one percenter patch, then you're automatically bad and shit like that. And that comes from, some of the guys out there being freaking pole smokers and shit like that, being idiots, jacknuts, freaking causing problems for their clubs. What's important is for the clubs to get a handle on that shit. And yeah, I do support that they need to, you know, evolve with the times, if you will. But do you now, and it goes on, but do you now suggest that clubs should stick to a failing model and with dinosaurs telling riders and clubs how it's going to be done in the future? These fuckers are clinging to the last vestiges of power. Power that the feds will shut down soon, anyways. Less and less riders each year compounds the problem. 1% as you knew it is gone. Face up to it with the amount of rats, CIs, and Leo undercover. Surely it's better to just know who they are. And you can tell this is probably coming from a member of Iron Legacy or Iron Order. That right there, you can tell where it was coming from, just from there. And then he goes on, thus distancing the club of the bullshit. It definitely helps to keep the image cleaner, maybe even avoid being labeled a criminal organization. So, basically, the cop yesterday that was just convicted of second-degree murder out of Chicago because he unloaded 16 shots into a guy for having a damn knife. That means we shouldn't freaking put the cops into that category too, just because you have incidences of one percenters doing some shit again, and I've tried to prove this over and over again. Cops do worse than the damn one percenters do. This guy he put 16 shots into this fucking kid, and he had his back turned. So what would the writer of this comment say to that? Really? What would he say to that? It's ignorant shit. These are the type of guys that are out there screaming for socialism. They really are. Let's see here. Then this is another one from Europe. Well, I guess this is it's probably an Iron Order, Iron Legacy from Europe. That's a definite plus for us here in Europe. It is illegal here to ride with an OBG cut, and it's not it only gonna get worse. I can still do my shit, but just like I keep it out of church, this allows the one percenter club to also go back to the basics. Well, I can't talk about Europe, man. I know it's fucked up over there. You got to go to Dibs and talk to him at Europe. But when it comes to our rights here in the United States, I ain't giving them up to no fucking government. You know how many people out there died for the rights that we enjoy today? And we're just not like you Europeans, man. We got balls. And I hate to say that if anybody's listening over in Europe, because I know I got a lot on Motorcycle Madhouse that listen, but we just don't believe in handing over our rights to the government. And for that guy who wrote that, can you actually stand behind that? Or can you think, not being ignorant or anything like that? Maybe that's why you've had, how many world wars over in Europe that's taken the whole world down in warfares, because you like, giving your shit up, let's see here. What else we got? Chicago's cops scare me more than some of the people. There's let me tell you about Chicago cops, man. Chicago cops are something. They're fast to take a freaking envelope, man, but they're fast to also kick your ass if you don't provide what they want. Let's see here. As for the bike question, with so many foreign parts in your bike, what was the question? There's not only one brand bike that is 100% made in one country. And I never made the argument that Harley Davidson was 100% made in America. What I was talking about was that CEO, Matt Dumbshit. Dude, that guy's a pole smoker, man. That CEO of Harley. Have you guys ever seen his biography photo on Harley Davidson? He's a freaking pole smoker and a butt smacker. I'm telling you. You know what? I don't care what you do in your guys' bedroom, but that's what he is. He's true fag all the way, man. He pole smokes. I'm telling you. But yeah, what I was talking about with the Harley deal was Indians giving them all kinds of freaking competition and shit. And Indians some badass bikes, man. You know, I can do without all the electronic bullshit, but yeah, you know, because this basically was a rant that was thrown up at me. So I'm kind of addressing it. I like addressing all the fucking rants on one of these stuff. Let's see here. I think nothing can be worse than losing my cut. Well, that's all right, but if you're already giving it to the government, uh, let's see here. Uh, what questions you guys got? Let's see here. In the 70s, we used to get picked up by cops. Shit, it's still going in the hood, Jose. What's up, Base? How is everybody, man? Let's see here. JB. Super Pimp. Right on. Harley CEO is an idiot. The whole board needs to go. I'm telling you what, man. If they don't get that board restructured or that CEO gone, they're just gonna run this shit into the ground, man. Because they got not only do they got their core customers pissed off at them, but they do got Indian coming out there. They're coming out strong, man. And not only are they kicking ass on the racetrack, but they're starting to come out and kick ass on the streets and sell more bikes. Marty Porter, what is a rub? Rich urban biker. That's what they are. I'm not gonna go. They're pole smokers, man. What can I tell you? Did anybody see BD's fall yesterday? BD got hurt? I didn't know that, man. Patrix Lawn Care. Can I get a shout out on the Key Boys and Party House? What's up? What are your thoughts on Gift Givers MC? I never heard of them. Never heard of them. Hey, what's up, Gary? My old man and I got lost one night and ended up on Cabrini. Shitless. I wasn't worried. No problem. Yeah, Cabrini Green's gone now, Ant Man. They shipped them out west, and that was one of Daly's brilliant moves. See, you know, you got a lot of them in Chicago, and they're unlike people that you'll ever meet. It's called the Democratic Machine here in Chicago, and let me tell you, it's a Democratic machine. That's why they've had control of the city for over 100 years. But if you ever been to Chicago, it's more freaking segregated than anything that ever went on down south. You got your north side where you got a lot of whites, you got a lot of Polish, Italians, all that stuff. You got Latinos coming up on the north side. Uh, but the west side, south side's a lot of black. You got a lot of Latino down that way. And then you got the deep south. But yeah, they keep it pretty segregated here in Chicago, man. And they're out there freaking trying to claim that they're fighting for everybody's rights. Yeah, right. Come to Chicago. Google gift givers and Ken Boy's Party House. What's up, Super Pit? Oh, Log Rider, you got that Indian, man. When I get back on a Harley, it feels like. You know what? My Fat Boys is going to be my last Harley that I get. I'm going Indian from now on. Thanks, Long Rider, for that super chat. Really appreciate it, bud. Really do. Oh, the you know what what I miss because I'm actually outside of Chicago now. I was there for what 40 something years, and I just moved up north because I didn't want my son going to the high schools and shit out there. And you know what? The food out by me sucks because I'm by northern. I'm in northern Illinois by Wisconsin by the Beloit border and shit like that. The food out here sucks. There ain't no damn hot dogs. There ain't no damn pizza. So let me tell you that I miss. I guess I'm not a rub after 10,000 miles in 7 months. It's just the way you define yourself, Marty. You know, I'm not out here to judge. There's different classes within the biker community, and you got your hardcore one percenters, you got your regular bikers, you got your motorcycle enthusiasts, you got your rubs, Then you got your pole smokers that I call them, the Leos. Yeah. So Jersey was the same way. Never went to school with blacks. Yeah, in high school on the north side, we it was mostly Latino where I grew up, and not a lot of blacks where I was at. So, go blow, we had one Chicago Red Hots. Yeah, Chicago Red Hots are good, man. But I'm Vienna all the way. So basically, that's what this video was all about today. Was that 1%er, they're all gangsters and shit like that, because it gets under your skin when you keep on seeing that shit, and you always can tell it's either from Leo clubs that are putting it out there or these law-abiding clubs that are putting out there, and it can't be furthest from the truth, man. I know I got off subject there from what the video was supposed to be about, and you know, it's ridiculous. Who thinks in today's society, now you can walk down right down to the street to a gas station and you're probably freaking clicked freaking 20 times you're on video somewhere. You really think that, guys nowadays are want to get into that kind of shit? It's not like that anymore, man. It really ain't. Everything's changed. So thanks for that live chat, or that chat, man. I really appreciate that. Thanks, H. Smith. Got to jet. Stay frosty, man. Be careful. I appreciate it, man. So, uh, with that, guys, we got some upcoming things this week. We have, I know a lot of the guys wanted me to do something on Christian clubs today. I didn't get to that one because I forgot it's live chat day. So I'm going to try to get to that tomorrow, and we'll get to some other stuff next week. And I really appreciate all the support for Neon. That's some great shit. I appreciate the super chat. All the donations go to Motorcycle Madhouse, which come out today at 1 o'clock. You're actually going to hear from a millennial who wanted to fight back about what that one guy was crying about. You're going to the Meadowlands for the first time, Long Rider? Freaking A, rock on, man. That's awesome. We had Force busting down here in Texas in the 70s, and all the black kids, rock on. Yeah, that's, I know there's the upper end, the older guys in the club in the clubs and the biker community are still, they still have their ideals. It's like, hey, you can't teach old dogs new tricks. But a lot of that stuff to me, because I got a lot of, I get a lot of freaking hate mail, man. I have to get 200 to 300 a day on that shit. But when I put out that video about mixed race clubs, they were coming on, hey, you're a race trader this, race trader that. Them goose stepping motherfuckers, man. Uh, but me, you got to remember, I was in the Montclair neighborhood of Chicago, Melrose Park. So where we were at, man, it was all mixed when we were kids and teenagers, shit like that. We all had each other's back, and we were all dirt fucking poor. We weren't these rich freaking kids running around. We only had each other to depend on. So if you bleed red like we all do, man, you're a human freaking being. I can't treat you any different unless you're a freaking jerk off, you know. So, uh, cool. We got way too many cops in Michigan. Rock on. But again, that's going to be coming out today at 1 o'clock. Motorcycle Madhouse at Central Standard Time. I really appreciate you guys coming on the live chat. If you have anything for next week, let me know and I'll bring it up. And I really appreciate all the super chats, man. I really do. I appreciate everything. And you're right, Marty. No jack nuts allowed in this freaking chat room. Man, I love listening to the old timers. Man, you know what? The old timers are some damn good people, man. And they're still around. They really get out there, talk to them. They're the funny fuckers that are at the rallies, man, giving the fucking young ones all the fucking headaches and the bullshit. Go up to them and talk to them. They're some funny fucking guys, man. They'll tell you some stories. You want to talk about freaking old timers and old time parties, man? They're the ones to talk to. Right away, That went by quick. Sorry, JB. I usually try to keep it to half hour, 45 minutes. And that's another thing. People ask me about the microphone and stuff. We also do Motorcycle Madhouse, which is a radio podcast, and a lot of the material that I use in Biker Angle, we cut up sometimes and use it in Motorcycle Madhouse. So we need the pop filter, which is this thing, to make sure that we got a clean audio stream for the radio, so we're not sitting there in edit mode. Because for every 1 hour of Motorcycle Madhouse, it takes 6 hours to edit and all that good. So, but with that, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on today and for all the support that you give the channel. And you guys all take care. You be good. And I appreciate you guys beating me to the point with the live chat video, man. That was cool waking up and seeing that shit. Especially after last night, man. We had a bunch of fucking let's just say we were higher than Jesus last night. So it was one of them nights. Them fucking blunts were moving around last night, man. Let me tell you. But you guys take care. And again, everybody has my email. Also, have that hotline if you ever need to get a hold of me. Talk to me on the phone for an ideal. Or just want to bullshit, man. Give me another call and all that good shit. Appreciate it, everybody. And you guys be good and take care.